Hello everyone, I'm extremely glad to be welcoming you all to this session on Mobilison, Zoho Sales IQ's mobile SDK. We hope all of you are safe and healthy. I'm Naveen and today I'm going to be telling you all about Mobilison and how it can help your business. We have our product experts on the panel here, so if you have any questions you can ask them in the Q&A section and they'll answer them for you. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, let's take a look at today's agenda. First, I'll briefly explain what Zoho Sales IQ is, and then we'll look at what is Mobilison and how it can help your business. Then, we'll see how to view your live visitors using Mobilison and how to initiate in app chat and support using Mobilison. After that, we'll have an overview of all the features of the real time in app chat. Next, we look at how to automate engagement with targeted prospects using triggers and bots. Then we'll learn how to send targeted push notification to specific users and increase user engagement. Lastly, we'll see how you can craft your custom UI using Mobilison. Okay, first let's take a look at what is Zoho Sales IQ. Zoho Sales IQ is a real-time customer engagement and support platform that helps your sales, support, marketing, and customer success teams. By implementing Sales IQ on your website, you can reach out to your visitors and support them in real time. Sales IQ also comes feature packed with features like live chat, live view, knowledge base, triggers for engagement, mobile SDK, and much more. So by implementing Sales IQ to your website, you will get the Sales IQ widget on your website with which you can view all your live visitors and interact with them in real time. So here's a website and on the right hand side you can see that Sales IQ's chat window is open and the operator has sent a message. So like this, once you implement Sales IQ on your website, you get to communicate with your visitors in real time. So, what is Mobilison and how it is related to Sales IQ? So, once you add Sales IQ to your website, you can interact with your website visitors. But what about the users who use your mobile application? How do you view your live app users and reach out to them? That's where Mobilison comes in. Mobilison allows you to bring Sales IQ into your mobile application. So Mobilison is nothing but Sales IQ's feature-rich SDK that you can implement in your app to bring all the features of SEO Sales IQ such as live chat, live visitors on app, knowledge base, etc. into your application with very minimal effort and almost no complex coding. With Mobilison implemented into your application, you will have access to all the essential features of Zoho Sales IQ, and also you'll get features that are unique to Mobilison such as push notification, customizable components, and much more. Before we dive deep into Mobilison and its features, let's take a look at why you should implement Mobilison into your application. For that, we're going to look at some statistics. Here we have the global smartphone user data. The total population on Earth as of July 2021 is 7.87 billion, in which 5.27 billion people are unique mobile phone users, and almost half of the internet users are from a smartphone. So, if you extend your support to all your app users, you could have so much potential and you can increase your business drastically. So here I have a report for channels for support, and you can see that the online self-service and the live chat is one of the most preferred channels for support, and traditional channels such as emails are getting less and less usage. And you can see on the bottom right corner, you can see here the usage of mobile apps has been increasing year to year and more people are switching to mobile apps to get support. So by implementing the most preferred channels such as online self-service and live chat into your mobile application will make it much more suitable for users to get support right from the palm of their hands. So by looking at this data, you can already tell that the average response time for an email is much greater than the live chat. Even with excellent support team, it's going to take a lot of effort for the user to go through their inbox amongst all the clutter to find the correct response. Whereas in live chat, it's almost instantaneous. Like they could send out a chat invite, and as soon as they connect with an operator, the chat is going to happen reactively without any delay. If you're still not convinced on why you should implement live chat into your application, let's take a look at support with and without MobileListen. So traditionally, without MobileListen, your app is going to look something like this. You are going to have a contact page, and your visitors could either copy the email address and send out an email, or copy the number, dial in, and wait for someone to pick up the call. It's really not practical to get a support like this, and it's very frustrating if a user wants immediate support for a very important stuff. And with MobileListen, you will get features like in-app live chat, self-service with knowledge base, automated support with bots, contextual support with visitor details, supporting with rich media such as images, videos, articles, etc., push notification reminders, and also powerful integrations like Zoho Desk. Now, let's dive into MobileListen's live app users tracking. As you can see, once you implement Sales IQ to your website, you know all the visitors will be accumulated in the visitor ring. The same goes to MobileListen. Once you implement MobileListen into your application, all the mobile users will be shown right inside these rings alongside your website visitors. And if you have dedicated support team for your app users, you could use the custom tracking views feature in Sales IQs to filter out your app users. You could use those filter to even filter out your iOS users and Android users individually, and then provide the adequate support. So now let's just take a look at how a visitor will be populated on the ring as soon as they open the application. So here I have my demo app open. As soon as I open this, you can see the user populate in the live view rings. Back in Sales IQ dashboard, you can see the user. As I click on the user, you can see the proactive chat window opens, and all the details of the user is listed right inside the proactive chat window. And on the right side, you can see the activity of the user is listed there. Right now, if the visitor, as the user navigates to different pages into your application, all that activity will be listed on the right hand side. You could also click on the Start a Proactive Chat button to initiate a proactive chat with the user right away. Moving on, we have the real-time in-app chat support. The live chat is one of the key features of Zoho Sales IQ, and it is the most used feature in Zoho Sales IQ. So by implementing live chat into your application, you could instantly connect with your users and provide them real-time support. So one of the few advantages of the in-app chat support is that the users could initiate a conversation with just a single click, and they could have multiple real-time conversation at the same time. Now let me show you how easy it is for a user to initiate a conversation with MobileListen. Once the user have their apps open, all they have to do is click on the chat widget to open the conversation page. If there are no conversations, the user gotta click the start chat button to initiate a conversation right away. So once they type out the message and click send, it's gonna ring up an operator on your Zoho Sales IQ dashboard. Once the operator picks it up, they'll be instantly connected to them, and they can converse with them in real time. Here you can see they are conversing in real time with an actual operator. So that's how easy it is for a user to initiate a conversation with MobileListen. As soon as they open their app, they can start a conversation right away from the home page without having to navigate to different pages or copying a number and then putting it up in their dialer app and calling it. It's so simple and much more easier and convenient for a user to use this one. So we just saw how easy it is for a user to initiate a conversation from their application with Mobilison. Now let's see how you could send out targeted chat invites to specific users using triggers. So triggers is one of the best way to increase your engagement and send out targeted chat invites and other types of triggers to the users that you want to initiate conversations with. So here I'm just going to click on triggers and click on add. So here you could set out all the different criteria that you want to filter out that particular user that you want. So here I want to filter out all the iOS users who have a lead score more than 100, and if they visit a particular page, I want to send out a chat invite to them. So here I'm just going to click on lead score should be greater than 100. So if they have a lead score greater than 100, the first rule will be satisfied. The second rule is that they're gonna have to be an iOS user. For this, I'm just gonna click on the operating system is iPhone. So and then I'm gonna enter the page title. So as soon as they go to this page, they will be sent out a chat invite. So I'm just gonna enter the name of the page and then click next. So when would you like to initiate the trigger? Here I'm just going to click on access any page on my website. So as soon as they navigate to that particular page which I previously mentioned in the criteria, they'll be sent the chat invite. So here in the trigger type, I'm just going to choose chat invite, type out the operator's name, and then enter. The trigger is going to go after 10 seconds. Enter the message, and then click on next. Just put app user and then check if everything is correct, like all the settings that we configured is right here. Just click launch to launch your trigger, and here you can see the first trigger rule that we created is listed over here. So as soon as a visitor satisfies all these criteria, they will be triggered with the chat invite with the custom message that I provided inside the trigger right now. So I'm just gonna go to the application and show you how this trigger works in real time. Back in the demo application, once the user opens the required page and satisfies all the criteria that I set in the trigger, you can see a chat invite pops up, and as soon as they click on the chat widget, they're going to be taken right to the chat, and they'll be instantly connected with the operator if they respond to the chat. So this is how triggers are used to increase engagement. So you could set out various triggers to increase engagement. So if a visitor is stuck on a pricing page for a long time and you think that they need help, you could set out a trigger for them. And if they really need the help from an operator, as soon as they see that chat invite, they'll quickly respond to them. If a visitor doesn't need that help, they would simply ignore. So chat invite is one of the simplest way and one of the most effective way to increase user engagement. So we just saw how easy it is for users to initiate a conversation from their application, and how operators could scale up their user engagement drastically by sending out targeted chat invites. Now let's take a look at all the other features that comes with Mobilison, all the other in-app features that comes with Mobilison. Viewing visitor configuration. Once you implement Mobilison into your application and a user starts out a conversation from that app, you also get access to a lot of vital information that you could use to enrich your support process. So this is how a chat window from the operator side is going to look at. As soon as you are connected with an app user, on the right hand side in the more info section, you could view all the information about the visitor's app and the mobile device. So you could see the screen resolution, accessing via mobile, app installation date, updated date, app version. All that stuff is going to really help you provide the best support without having to ask the visitor to find that information by themselves, like by navigating to settings and all that stuff. You could also view the permissions enabled by the visitors. So if they have Bluetooth, camera, and various stuff enabled or disabled in the device or in the application, you could view it right here. So with this, it's very easy and simple for the operators to know like what is wrong with the app and then provide support accordingly. And moving on, we have the on-demand support. So what is on-demand support? So for example, let's just say you run an e-commerce business and you have an e-commerce application. So if a user really likes a product in your online shop and proceeds to buy it, so they add it to the cart and then proceeds to the purchasing page, and as they try to pay for that particular product, some error appears and the transaction fails. So instead of just simply closing the tab, you could provide a dedicated support button right here, and as soon as they click on the button, it's gonna take them directly to the department concerned. So instead of like simply opening up a chat and then connecting it to a random operator, they could directly connect to the payment and support team instantly and get the support regarding that. So the operators on their side will know that the user has come to them because a transaction has failed, and they could have all the other data ready to assist the user without having to like ask them questions and then provide the necessary solution. So this is on-demand support, and it's one of the most used feature in Mobilison. And you could set up on-demand support for various things. You could have on-demand chat buttons based on your product categories and pricing page. So all that chat button could be routed to a particular set of departments, and as soon as the user clicks on that button, they'll be directly taken to that particular department without having to go through any sorts of transfers or anything. Moving on, we have support better with rich media. So the in-app chat also comes with rich media support. That means you could send out images, videos, articles, links, voice recordings, files, and much more. So this takes your support game to a whole new level. Supporting with just text is really frustrating, and sometimes it's really ineffective when you have to support users with complex issues. So sending out, you could simply ask them to screenshot something and send it to you using the add image option, or take a video screen recording, and you as an operator could provide articles, links, and users could also send out voice recording if they find it really hard to type out long messages. You could also send out files such as PDFs to like improve the support. And then here you can see we have examples for everything. So on the first image, you can see that the operator has shared a video with a book dedicated book button. So as soon as the user clicks on that button, they'll be directly taken to the required page. And on the center, we have an image example for an image. So with this, you could show the product images and other stuff, which makes it really easy for the user to understand what the operator is referencing about. And then on the last image, we can see the user as opted to send out a voice note instead of typing. Sometimes typing out a long message is really frustrating, and it's really not practical to type it on the go. So users could simply click on the voice recording button and send out a voice recording, and the operator could then listen to the voice recording and send back the required solution. Moving across, the next feature is sync across multiple devices. So if you have multiple phones in which you have the same app and the login, and you have logged into the same app, all your conversation and support is going to be synced across in real time. So unlike the website version, all your data will be synced up and stored in all your devices that if you have logged into them. So here you can see that the user has started a conversation in their iPhone, and then if they leave out their phone, and then they could simply continue their conversation from their Android phone. So it even works across different types of devices. in real time. Next, we have continuing the closed conversation or simply reopening conversations. So you could have all your past conversation listed out right there in the conversations tab, and if a user finds as a persisting issue, they could simply go to that conversation and then click on the reopen chat option to connect to the same department and then continue conversing with the operator from that particular department. So the operators could simply reference the previous chat and then provide support accordingly without having to start everything from scratch and then ask the user what's wrong and explaining everything from the first. It's really time consuming. In this way, using this feature, it's really simple and the users could get instant support without having to explain anything. They could just open it up and then get support immediately. This could also be used to provide to ask for follow-ups. So if a user has requested for something and the conversation is closed, they could simply reopen it and ask for a follow-up instantly. So moving on, we'll have the multilingual support. So the multilingual support allows operators to assist users from various part of the world. It also saves a lot of resources for small businesses. So it is really ineffective to hire operators from all around the world to like support all your users if you run an international business and if you are starting out small. So in this way, you could simply enable the multilingual real-time translation feature in Mobilison that instantly detects foreign languages and then translates. It's gonna open up so much ways to expand your business all around the world and provide real-time multilingual support with just a very few set of operators. And then we have the easy debugging feature. If you want to provide support based on the application, you could simply operators could simply request the app log of the user. So using this feature, the user could choose to share their app log with the operators, and then the operators could view the app log and provide the necessary support immediately without having to ask the user to go through various settings inside the phone to get the app log. So it's really simple and it's going to be really easy. So now we have completed all the features of the live in-app chat, and now we'll look at how you can automate engagement with bots and then send push notifications. Nurturing leads with bots. So bots is also one of the most effective way to save your resources. So if you're a really small business and have a very limited number of operators, bots could be of great help for you to improve your business without spending a lot of money. So let's just say that you have a very limited amount of operators and you can't really afford to hire multiple operators to like start a conversation with all your users and then filter out the users and analyze if they are really prospects or just junk leads. So to do this, an operator will take a lot of time, and then it's really inefficient for an operator to go up, send out chat invite to every single user who uses your app, and then finding out if they are really prospects or not. It's just going to take a lot of time. So to make everything simpler, use any bot that comes with Sales IQ. You could use the Answer bot, Zobots, Codeless bots. Any of it will work really good. You could use the bots to automate and then nurture leads for you without having to do anything, and it's really cost effective. So the bots could take up n number of conversations at the same time, which an operator could never do. So the bots could converse with multiple users at the same time without having to wait for one conversation to end before moving on to another one. For example, if you run a real estate business, you could set up a bot to initiate conversation with all the targeted users. So if a user decides to respond to the bot conversation, the bot could then go on conversing with the visitors, acquiring all the essential information to analyze to figure out if the visitor is really a prospect or not. So once the bot gets all the essential data, it could transfer the chat to an actual operator, and the operator could look at the chat and then quickly figure out if the user is actually a prospect or not. In this way, you could nurture hundreds and even thousands of leads without having to put a single effort on any of your operators. That's how amazing bots really are. So as we saw, using bots to send out chat invites to live visitor is one of the most powerful way to generate leads without putting out any effort. So, but what if the visitor is not using your app? What if the visitor is just scrolling through their smartphone? How would you improve your engagement? Here is where push notification comes in. Push notification is proved to be one of the best ways to stimulate user engagement up to 10 times. So what are push notifications? Push notifications are the simple notification that you see on the top of the notification bar in your Android phone and your iOS devices. So once you implement Mobilism into your application, you will get the push notification feature in which you could send out targeted push notification to any specific users that you want. You can also send out push notification to send out updates for ongoing conversations. So if a user started a support conversation with your operator and then quickly closes your app and then goes to another app, you could still let the user know that there is a conversation going on by sending out all the replies that the operator sends as a push notification. So in this way, the user will get reminded that there is a conversation going on, and as soon as they click on the notification, they'll be taken back to your application directly to the chat. Also, you could also send out custom push notification in which you could link any page inside the app that you want. So as soon as the user clicks on that push notification, they'll be taken to that particular page. So if you have a really good product coming out this summer, you could send out a summer deal. As soon as the user clicks on the notification, they'll be taken to that required page. In this way, you could also send out updates about your app, new discounts, or other important updates. So I'm gonna show how the in-app chat notification works by starting a proactive chat. So if a user is scrolling through your app, you could go to the Sales IQ dashboard, click on the user and start a proactive chat right here, and click on start a proactive chat in the proactive chat window, and then type out your message and click send. So now the user will receive the in-app chat notification pop-up on the top. Users could click on the chat notification pop-up and then start typing to like start the conversation. After the user fills up the pre-chat form, the operator will receive a chat invite, and if they click reply, they could start conversing with the user. Let me give you a demo on how you can send a targeted push notification for a specific user using Mobilison. So in your Sales IQ dashboard, go to people and then select a particular visitor to whom you want to send this push notification to. And then once you open their visitor page, you can see the mobile icon on the top right corner. Click on it, type out your title for the push notification and the message and the target link if you have a target link, and click send. So here you could see the push notification is instantly received on the mobile device of the user, and as soon as they click on it, they're going to be taken back to your app. Using this feature, you could grab the attention of users who are not even using your app and then drive traffic right back into your application by sending out targeted push notifications. So now let's just see how a chat invite will be sent to the user even if they close your application. So your user is starting a chat here, and then the operator picks it up. So if the user closes the app and navigates back to some other app, you could still have the user's engagement by sending out chat notification. So here the operator has sent a message and the user will receive a chat notification, and they could open it and get right back to the chat. So this would allow the this would give the user a flexibility to move in between apps while still knowing that they are on a chat with an operator. Next, we're going to be looking at how to enable self-services with articles and FAQs. So back to the reports that we saw in the very beginning of this presentation, we saw that self-service, like online self-service, is one of the most used feature of most used channel for support. So by implementing self-service right inside your application will make it much more powerful than you think. Users need not even start a conversation and then quickly go to your self-service knowledge base and then type out a question that they have and find answers to their questions instantly, provided that you have a very good knowledge base inside your sales IQ. So here we're gonna take a look at how to do that. Back in sales IQ, go to settings, brands, and then pick your brand, and then go to configurations in that channels tab, and here under the articles section you could enable the articles for your Android or iOS application. To enable for that particular app, all you have to do is to click on the toggle button. It will automatically enable the knowledge base for your application right here. And with just a click of a single button, you have enabled one of the most preferred channel of support in your application with almost no effort. So that's how powerful Mobilison is. Lastly, we have crafting your custom UI with Mobilison. So this is the star feature of Mobilison. So having any support inside your application, one of the main goals is to make your support blend with your app. So having a support widget that looks odd when compared to your application theme is really unappealing for users to look at. So by customizing Mobilison to blend with your application, you could make it virtually indistinguishable from your application and make it look like it's almost as a part of your application. So here we have some example components. Like this, you could design your custom component and add Mobilison to it. Now let's just take a look at a few example layouts that we have added to showcase the amount of customization that you can apply to Mobilison. So in the example layout 1, we have a quick support and previous chats. So here we have you have all your orders listed in the top cards, and then you could click on the reach support button to instantly connect with your customer support team specifically dedicated for that particular order on the top. So with this, you don't need to have to go to multiple transfers in order to get to the concerned departments. And we also have the previous chats tab here, and then you could click on that tab to view all your previous chats. So if you have any persisting issues, you could click on that chat and then instantly reopen it. You can also get help with other queries. So each of this element is going to take you to a particular department based on the function and the query that you have. So in the example layout 2, we have categorized chat. So if you have an application where the user is required to start up a lot of support conversation, and it might get cluttered as they open multiple conversations. So you could categorize these chats to all open and close. So the users will know like what chats are currently ongoing and what chats are closed. So they won't be accidentally opening up closed chats. So this way, it could save up a lot of time for the user to know the current ongoing conversations. And then clicking on the example layout 3, we have chat on demand or access previous chat. So here, as we saw in the first one, we have added a previous chat element right here. So as soon as they click on it, they'll be taken to a tab where they will have all the past conversation listed out, and they could click on a conversation and then quickly reopen and get instant support. So this could save up a lot of space instead of cluttering up your support screen with all the past conversations. So you could have them all in a different tab and keep your users and make your users really easy and simple to start a new chat. And then instant live support from FAQ page. So if a user wants to get self-service but they couldn't find solution that they are looking for, they could simply click on the start now button right from the self-service portal. So here they are going to the knowledge base right here, and they could instantly click on the chat now button to get to the support, and the support will know that they are coming from the knowledge base page. Next, we have the access articles and chat without switching pages. So in the traditional default Mobilison widget, you will have the conversations and knowledge base in separate tabs. So you could customize it to be on a single page in which you could have a single support page where you could have all your articles. You could have an option to browse all your articles, and then chat now button which could connect the user to the required operator. And in the layout 6, we have carousel chat cards. This is one of the modern elegant way of displaying your chats. So instead of showing it in the conversation view, so if you run like an e-commerce app, the user is rarely gonna use the support, and so there will be not much chat conversations listed out. So you could show them in cards, which is much more easier for the users to access without having to view a list of conversation. And they could also have access to the knowledge base right there on the same page, and then they could also start out a new chat by having a dedicated on-demand chat button at the bottom. So with this, I hope you have understood the power of customization using Mobilison. With Mobilison, you could do almost anything that you want and customize the features of Sales IQ and blend them with your app however you want to. So moving on, we have the ease of implementation. So just by looking at all the features that I explained before, you might think that it will be really hard for you to implement Mobilison into your application, and it's going to take a lot of time to do so. But it's really not. It's very simple to implement Mobilison into your application. It's not even going to take more than 5 minutes for you to implement. So right now, I'm just going to give you a demo on how to implement Mobilison into your iOS application. But with that, Mobilison also supports Android, iOS, and cross-platform applications like React Native, Cordova. And Flutter is an upcoming release which will be released really soon. So stay tuned for that. Let's just dive into the installation process. Installation using CocoaPods. To add Mobilison SDK to your iOS app, as the first step, you need to add Mobilison pod to the pod file present in the project directory. If you do not previously use CocoaPods in your project, run the pod init command from the project directory using the terminal. Running the command would create the required pod file which will be used for the installation. Open the pod file and add Mobilison pod as a dependency as shown, and save the file. Now run the pod install command to proceed with the installation. Once pod installation is complete, open your project name.xc workspace in Xcode and navigate to appdelegate.swift file in your project. Once opened, add the import Mobilison statement. After Mobilison is imported, call the Zoho SalesIQ.init with app key API from Mobilison. With the init statement, the app key and access key generated for the app must be provided. The bundle ID of the app will be used to generate the app and access key from the Sales IQ console. Copy the same from the project settings. Now navigate to settings, brands, choose your brand, Installation iOS. Use the bundle ID to generate the app and access key as shown and provide the keys in the init statement that was previously added. If you wish to show the default live chat launcher in your application, scroll down in the installation page and turn on the toggle to make the default live launcher visible. Please note that this step is optional and you may use Zoho SalesIQ.chat.show API to launch chat from the custom button of your own. Now choose your preferred run target and run the project. After the build succeeds, the app is launched and you will see the live chat launcher on your app. So it is that simple to install Mobilison into your iOS application. Like this, you could install Mobilison in your Android, React Native, Cordova and Ionic application. Now that we have come to the end of the webinar, I would like to thank you all so much for attending this webinar and staying with me till the very end. I cannot express how grateful I am to present this webinar, and I hope it really was helpful, and I would like to see all of you go and implement Mobilison into your application and provide your feedbacks. So now let's go to the Q&A session. So if you have any questions regarding Mobilison, please ask them in the Q&A section and our product experts will answer them right away. Once again, thank you so much for attending this session, and until next time, signing off, Naveen. Thank you and have a really amazing day.